Okay, Fight Freaks, this is your boy Big Steve G, the voice of TheTitleFight.com, and welcome to another podcast. In this session, we will analyze upcoming bouts and stories in the sport of boxing, and we're going to start off with Manny Pacquiao. Earlier this week, the Pac-Man announced that he will be facing current junior welterweight title holder Timothy Bradley on June 9th in Las Vegas. I myself, as probably many fight fans, are very disappointed that this fight is being made. We all know that Bob Arum was discussing 4 possible opponents for Pacquiao. They were Lamont Peterson, Timothy Bradley, a rematch with Miguel Cotto, or a 4th fight with Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, we all know Cotto is fighting Floyd Mayweather on May 5th, and Marquez and Peterson are in negotiations to fight each other, which only leaves Timothy Bradley as the only possible opponent for Manny Pacquiao. Now, out of all these 4 names, Timothy Bradley is the worst matchup of the 4. He does have great skills and possesses a great heart. However, he lacks the punching power and the speed to match Pacquiao. His last 2 bouts weren't very impressive. He did score a technical decision against Devin Alexander. However, it was an ugly fight, which lacked action the entire time, and he didn't prove much by dismantling Joel Casamayor this past November, as Casamayor was shot and way past his best fighting days. Bradley will talk a good game, as he always does, and he will say that he will destroy Pacquiao until he steps in the ring with Manny and feels the power. Mike Tyson once said that every man has a plan until they get hit, and that always seems to be the case with most Manny Pacquiao opponents. We all know that Mayweather-Cotto is not going to be the most competitive fight. However, more than likely will produce more action than will Pacquiao and Bradley. Now, the average boxing consumer will have to weigh their options and decide which fight will be worth shelling out $50+ for. Right now, my money is on Mayweather-Cotto. In order to make Pacquiao-Bradley sell, Bob Arum really needs to promote this fight well. Obviously, a 24/7 series or a Fight Camp 360 series is necessary should HBO or Showtime buy this fight. Stellar top-notch undercard is also needed, similar to the undercard for Pacquiao Marquez 3, with the exception of Bradley versus Casamayor. Remember, the hardcore boxing fans pay their dollars not only to see the main event, but also to see the other fights that are on the card. A top-notch undercard was the reason that I ordered the Hopkins versus Dawson pay-per-view event. Now, we all know that the Berto Ortiz rematch was supposed to happen this Saturday. However, a bicep injury to Berto postponed the rematch probably until this summer. Even though this fight is being put on hold, there are still some other good fights happening in this month of February. Next Saturday, February 17th, will be a big night for boxing, starting with Vitaly Klitschko defending his WBC heavyweight title against British heavyweight Derek Chisora. Now, Chisora is talking a big game about Vitaly and putting down his fellow countryman David Haye, who lost to Vladimir Klitschko this past summer. Chisora is 15-2, and he has given up tremendous height and reach advantage to Klitschko. Expect another boxing clinic from the great Vitaly. This fight will be shown on Epix, which is a premium cable network which most cable and satellite subscribers probably don't have. It can also be seen on epixhd.com. On the same night, Paul Williams returns to the ring facing Japan's Nobuhiro Ishida on Showtime. You may remember Ishida from last April as he knocked out James Kirkland. Despite the knockout of Kirkland, Ishida is a very light puncher as he only has 9 KOs in his 24 wins. I felt he caught an under-conditioned and under-focused James Kirkland last April. This is a good opponent for Williams as he should get some rounds in and build up his confidence again. Maybe he has made some changes based on his last 2 fights, and maybe we'll see something different from the great Paul Williams. Also on the card, hard-hitting and always exciting Tavares Cloud defends his light heavyweight title against Gabriel Campillo, and Cristobal the Nightmare Arreola will also be in action in a 12-round heavyweight bout against Eric Molina. February 25th is also another great night of boxing as former junior welterweight title holders Devin Alexander and Marcos Maidana face each other in welterweight bouts. This headlines an HBO Boxing After Dark doubleheader. Both fighters are exciting to watch, and even though Alexander has the advantage in skill and speed, you don't want to count out the hard punch of Maidana, who seems to lull great boxers into firefights like he did with Victor Ortiz and Amir Khan. Now, this fight has all the makings of an all-action fight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this fight take place. In the co-feature, Cincinnati, Ohio's Adrian Broner defends his 122-pound title belt against Eloy Perez. Also on the same night, WBA heavyweight champion Alexander Povetkin defends his title against Marco Huck in Stuttgart, Germany, and the fight will be shown on Epix. So all in all, a great slate of bouts still to come in the month of February. Now, I myself love to read up and follow boxing news on a number of websites, primarily ESPN.com. Now, late this last week, Tim Keown wrote an article on ESPN.com saying that boxing is killing itself due to the fact that Mayweather-Pacquiao has not been made yet, and he once again made the absurd comparison to mixed martial arts and saying that MMA is taking over and boxing is dying. Now, I get very upset when the boxing MMA comparison is made. These are two different sports with two different sets of rules. There is room in this world for both sports to exist, and there's no need to argue about which sport is better. I personally do not hate MMA, and I sometimes will watch a fight or two. However, my primary choice is boxing, as it is a sport I love and it's what I prefer. It's all a matter of what a fight fan prefers. MMA has its fan base, and boxing has its fan base. So let's stop the argument about which sport is better, as it is a no-win argument. Also, the sport of boxing is not dead. It is very much alive and well right now. Just because the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight hasn't been made, there's no reason to write boxing's death sentence. Floyd and Manny still sell over 1 million pay-per-view buys regardless of who it is that they're fighting. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. packed 14,000 fans in the Alamo Dome last week against a C-level opponent. Boxing is very strong right now and will remain that way for a long time to come. Well, that about does it for this session, Fight Freaks. Until next time, this is your boy Big Steve G. Have yourself a good one.